Good afternoon YouTube, and welcome back to another video. It's been just over a week now since I first started posting videos, and I've got to be honest, the first half a dozen that I've done so far, it's been really exciting to do it, and when I get the videos done I can't wait to get them online. I'm not very good at editing or anything to do with filming and stuff like that. It's all a big learning curve for me. I have noticed when you look back over what you've done and you think, oh yeah, I could have done that better, or I could have filmed that in a different way, or been more explanatory about what I was doing, etc. So there's been some important points that I've learnt over the last sort of week, and I intend to make some improvements to what I'm doing, and also try and get into the editing side of it and make things a little bit more interesting and better for you guys in the long run. Now, today I am going to do, I tell you what, another thing as well. When you look back over the stuff you do, you sort of like start picking holes in it, and I think I'm my biggest critic. I've had a few good comments this week, which I'm really, really grateful for, and I've got 6, maybe 7 subscribers. Whee! Thank you, those people, and all those people that have commented. All the feedback's been pretty good. If there's stuff that you'd like me to tackle or look into, or maybe I've already done that I might be able to help you with, you know how quirky these cars are, then by all means, send me a message or get hold of me, and if I can help you, I possibly will do that. So, like I say, looking back over your videos, you start getting a bit critical about things that you do and how you do stuff. And one of my biggest problems is I keep saying the word I say it a lot. God almighty. If there was a competition as to how many I could get into a video, I think I might have won it. So I'm going to work on that over the next week and see if I can reduce those down considerably, and hopefully make viewing a little bit better for you. But I would appreciate it, any likes and subscribes. I don't know how to put the bell on the screen. I'm getting there, but it takes a bit of time. But yeah, any likes and subscribes, any comments that you might have, always welcome. Coming up this week, I have got 2 or 3 videos to do. I'm going to spend a little bit more time finishing them off to make sure they're a little bit more presentable, shall we say. One of the things, there goes an one of the things I'm going to do is refit the bumper, so I'll go through that in detail where all the fixings are. I haven't got a removal of the bumper, I don't think. I've cleaned all the parts up, even including the inside of the bumper, so I will show you all the fixings and where they go, how easily it is to put it back with a bit of care and just take a bit of time. Also, I want to do my exhaust tips. Now, I've done some work on them so far, and basically, you know how they get tar marks on them, this, that and the other. Because I've had my exhaust off and totally refurbed it from one end to the other, I thought, right, I'm going to give these little critters a good clean up. Now, they're a fortune. I've seen them for £500 for a pair. All right, Porsche, they're good, but they're not that good. Mine had, they all come with a captive bolt, and if they've been on there any length of time, you're going to break it getting it off. So in the end, I took a blowtorch to mine and disconnected the fixture bolt. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I've been struggling to find a decent sized square nut, which I could put, I don't know if I can show you that, in there. And I could possibly, another there, I could possibly weld another captive nut in there, but I think I bought some new nuts and bolts for it, just to go straight through it. Oh, here we go. So I think it will be quite easy to fit it back on the car and nut and bolt it with a couple of spanners. So we'll see what happens there. But who knows? Maybe I might just get them welded. Now, I want to show you where I've got to with the other exhaust tip. This one I've cleaned up considerably, got it all nice, and I've roughly polished it, bearing in mind that I was going to do the next stage. And what I've done, I've wire brushed it all, cleaned it all off all the way through, and what I intend to do with that is I am going to blow that in with some very high temperature black paint, also to help prevent the bracket from corroding. This one's been cleaned up as well. And what I'm going to show you in a second is how I got those big lumpy black bits of tar off without endless rubbing and without doing any damage to our lovely, oh, I can see you through there, tailpipes. Back in a jiffy. Here we have the offending articles, the exhaust tips. I'll move that one there for a second. This one I haven't done anything with yet, and basically you've got, you know, I've taken the nut away because that was all corroded, and I'm just going to hopefully try and nut and bolt that. And I'm going to give this all a good clean up and repaint, which is what I've done to this one. So far this one's had a good polish up all the way round, all the tar marks removed, and I have given the internal body a coating of very high temperature paint. So hopefully you can see that like that all the way round, just to prevent corrosion. It's a bit of tartalization really, you know. Is it necessary? Well, not really, I suppose, but it will look pretty and it'll all be nice and tidy when we get it on the car. So a little tip, I heated this up a little bit. I warmed up the entire fitting with a blowtorch. Now, I would recommend using a heat gun if you've got one, but apply a couple of thin coats of the high temperature paint to it, give it a little warm up, keep it nice and warm, and then basically you're sort of pre-cooking it rather than before you get it on the car, because sometimes handling it when this stuff's not been subject to extreme heat, which is what it's used to, can come off or scratch quite easily. So that's what I've done. I'm letting it dry a little bit longer because I've only recently just painted that. So I'm going to take the masking tape off that in a few minutes, but we'll put this one to one side. This is the other one, which I've done very little with at the moment, and you can see it's in the rough. You've got all those black tar marks everywhere. Now you can polish them out, don't get me wrong. If you've got a wheel or a machine, then certainly that will, you know, do it with a bit of time and effort. But one way just to show you, if you take a brand new Stanley blade, other blades are available, and gently put it face almost flush with the stainless steel, and basically just gently rub like that, you will get the lump off. You'll get the lump of tar off without doing any real scratching of the stainless, because although it will polish up again, you don't want to be creating yourself lots of extra work. So any raised spots like we've got there, if the lighting's a bit rubbish, I do apologise. It's getting late in the day here, and that's that. Because I tried originally polishing the first one with auto sol, without removing the major lumps of tar and stuff that's come from the road, and it took me ages, and I thought there's got to be a better way of doing it. So that's basically that. And what we'll do now is I'll get a bit of polish out and just show you how. See, there's nothing raised on there now. I'll get a bit of polish out and we'll give it a little buff up by hand. Right, I've got a little bit of polish. I don't know what this is, to be honest. I think it is auto sol, but it's got a lot of Chinese writing on it, and it's quite old. It looks like auto sol and it smells like auto sol, but that might be the only resemblance that we've got to the real McCoy. Now, these little spots here, just quick demonstration. Now, if I, there you go, bit of pressure with the old pinky winky, still feel that one's a little bit raised there, but it will go down, and that will get rid, it gets rid of a lot of general discoloration, and it will also remove the final black spot from the exhaust pipe, tailpipe. Leave you with that. And I'll just give it a buff up with a bit of tissue for now. I don't want to rock the table too much in case the camera falls off. La, la, la. And that gives you the finished article. Try and do something with the light here. Hang on. What can we show you? Yeah, that's not too bad. But yeah, it does a cracking job, and it saves you a lot of elbow grease when you're trying to get rid of those tar spots. Just thought I'd give you a before, a before, the clean up and the paint up, etc. And of course, the after, looking quite pretty, quite pleased with that. All good as gold inside. There you go, much better. I've sorted out the lighting for you a little bit better. So all I've got to do with this one is give it another final polish before putting it back on the car. And this one's got to have the actual body cleaned up. I started on this one earlier, as you're aware, and I've got to clean all this one up, give it a light polish, and then I'll mask this one up and bring it up to the same spec as that. Thanks a lot for watching. See you soon. Don't forget, this week coming up, bumpers going back on, so I'll give that in detail. Someone has asked me also, how do I know, or how do you know if your ABS sensors are faulty? Now, I have tested a couple of mine, and I'll show you a little video on that, hopefully next week, basically using a standard multimeter, and I can give you some of the resistance tolerances that you can expect from a working one as opposed to one that isn't, because they're 60 quid a pop. If you buy a Porsche one, you might pay a little bit more for it. So, and quite often there's nothing wrong with them if you've got an ABS fault. I don't have any ABS faults, I've got to be honest, at this time, but I tested the two, that the side that I've done has been tested already, but I'll come back to that as soon as we can. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Exhaust tips almost complete. Bye for now.